Hello, I'm Mary V. Today, let's talk about releasing all the tension in your left arm. So, why do violinists keep talking about relaxing and releasing tension and why it's so important? Well, really, any activity that's repeated over and over and over, like bowing, tennis, writing on a keyboard, computers, or even texting over and over again, it can actually lead to a lot of pain and tendinitis and problems. And everyone really in various walks of life has come across this. And it's not as if a great tennis player will just pick up a racket and be able to play. I mean, the amount of training, the body, the mind, we all know it's an incredible amount. So the violin is just the same. That you can play for a while with a lot of tension, but you can't play well and you can't play for very long because it'll start causing problems. So today, let's look at a way of releasing tension in the whole of the left side, including the head, the shoulder, the whole arm right down to the tips of the fingers. So this is an exercise that most violinists do all the time so that they can, number one, check whether any tensions have crept in so that they're very aware, and number two, to actually release those tensions. So this can be something, once you know how to do this, it can actually be part of your warm-up and a companion for life. It's that important. So it's pretty simple. So first of all, you stand next to a wall and you rest your violin gently on the wall. So that takes away the need to hold the violin. So it's just resting. You can even take your head away and practice that. So it's against a wall and you go to the E string and you start floating up and down. Now, if you haven't actually shifted up, you can't start early enough to actually get the movement of shifting up. So all you do is just slide up, okay, with one finger up the string and back down again. Now, it's not actually as easy as that. So let me show you a few of the mechanics of how to do that. So as you go up, as you can see, the thumb starts moving underneath the neck, just gently. So if you don't want to go up that far, just start sliding up a little bit, up to the shoulder of the violin. And that should be enough for now. So you've got your violin leaning against the wall, and you just start sliding up. Now, just like that. Now, this is where, when you're leaning against the wall, it gives you a chance to feel what it's like to have a completely free, stress-free left-hand side. Because you're not holding the violin up, you're allowing the wall to do that. Okay? So this exercise, it's very important for you to feel what it's like, being able to do that movement without clutching with your shoulder or holding with your head or dragging with your fingers and clamping onto the neck. Actually move your attention up and down your arm and see if you can do that with absolutely no clamping in any area at all, including the fingers. Now let me show you what it's like when you're pressing too hard and you start clamping. Especially on the way down. If I'm pressing too hard, then I have to hold the violin more with my head, right? Or hold the violin more with my shoulder. So when you do this exercise and you do it freely with using the wall to hold the violin up, the purpose of it is to show you what's possible, what it feels like when you move up and down freely without any clamping at all. Okay, and the higher you can get up, the better, eventually. People have a tendency to press too hard, and this will cure that, because you can't press too hard. There's a lot of dragging, you see, if you press too hard all the way up, and then there's a lot of clamping if you're pressing too hard on the way down. So try to give yourself, first of all, the feeling that you're able to do it with the help of the support of the wall, okay? So, because you've got to know what it feels like first, okay? And then examine what your head is doing a few times, and then what your shoulder is doing, and then what the muscles at the top of your arm are doing, including the ones back here. They're quite naughty, they often involve themselves. And then the other thing is the thumb, is it free, right? And then the fingers, are they pressing too hard and dragging up and down? So you get the idea. This is a very, very healing sort of workout for the whole of the left-hand side. So once you've got the feeling, and you have to sort of do this over and over and do it slowly, so that you can ask yourself, can I do this freely? Can I really do this freely? Now, there's one more thing to think about when you are ready to leave the wall and hold the violin yourself. Just by actually holding the violin, do you immediately start clamping up anywhere? Right? That's a good thing to notice, to go from the wall to nothing, and then does your head automatically clamp? Well, if you're doing nothing on the violin, there's absolutely no need to hold it really, really tight and hold the neck really tight. So you can notice even what you're doing, and stressing the body and tightening up even before you play anything. So let's go and understand the next thing that you need to do, and that's when you go up, sort of push the violin up. Look at the scroll. Look at the fingerboard and how my hand is going up straight, and it's sort of making the violin move a little bit. If you can get comfortable with the violin moving under your head without clamping and keeping it absolutely in the same place, if you allow the violin, the feeling of it moving, that is the key to it. So as I go up, the violin moves up a little bit, and then as I go down, the violin moves up a little bit. Okay? That is the way to sort of allow that transition moment to happen, when the hand goes from high to low, to high to low. So you've got to get used to a feeling of the violin waving about a little bit, moving under your chin. And the natural, I nearly dropped my bow there. The natural thing to do is to stop it doing that, because obviously the unconscious fear is that we're going to drop our violins. But this is part of learning to allow the violin to move, which facilitates the movement of the hand. It helps. So if we can play without clamping, as soon as we clamp the head, the shoulder has to come up to sort of join the clamp, right? Because you don't chew just with one part of the jaw, the upper jaw. It's both parts that move, right? So you can't hold it with your head without involving your shoulder. And that's almost the worst thing on the violin, the shoulder pain that you get if you don't sort this out. So it can take a while if you're already clamping a lot and pressing too hard. But what you need to do is give yourself the gift of knowing what it feels like to actually move up and down the violin without any clamping at all, and to allow the violin to move quite a lot under your chin, right? So there's quite a lot in what I'm saying, especially if you've already got habits of stress and tightening and grasping. It takes quite a bit to undo, but you have to undo it. It's the job of us violinists to notice what the body is doing and to find ways to correct it. So I wish you all the best with your practice, and again, please take it slowly. And it's not about being in tune, it's not about any of that. It's a mechanical exercise that presents you with the ability to notice what's going on. As soon as you notice what's going on, you've got the chance to do something about it. So it does take a while to undo the reasons why we're actually clamping. But one of the things that I believe is that self-observation is one of the most powerful tools in learning the violin and correcting mistakes. Because if you sort of gather some knowledge, you don't need a teacher to sort of do the observing for you. You can get on much, much faster if you have a bit of knowledge and learn to observe. That's really the best way to learn the violin, is self-observation and a willingness to slow down and slowly change things, and also have faith that it's going to happen. That's quite an important thing. Your belief. Never get frustrated. Sometimes clamping is sort of a part of a frustration, and this instrument is one of the most frustrating things on the planet. So you're not alone. Just be patient with yourself and you'll get there. Anyway, I'll say bye-bye for now. Bye.